Welcome in, folks. Good morning. It is FFA week here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV. I'm your host, Matt Hildebrand. Big thank you to the folks making it possible for us to be here all week long, celebrating with our local FFA chapters, including Adams, Brown, and Highland County Farm Bureau, Armstrong Crop Insurance, Baxla Tractor Sales, Buckeye Valley Beef Cooperative, and Georgetown Marble and Granite. And we want to welcome in our guests today. We're going to be hosting Lynchburg-Clay and Fairfield FFA chapters. First up is Lynchburg-Clay. Good morning to y'all.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Thank you for hanging with us and being nice and early and prepped. We've had a little bit of time to talk even leading into. First up, Darren Landers, the FFA advisor at Lynchburg-Clay. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well. I understand you're if you say you're good, that's really good, especially considering you guys are coming off of a big trip with the FFA chapter.
Yes, just got back from our senior trip in Texas.
Senior trip in Texas. Now, how many seniors do you have in your group?
I have 14 this year.
Wow. Okay.
Nine went to the senior trip.
Okay. So how do you, was it just you or did you have other folks there to help along the way?
My husband went with me.
Okay. Brave man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So 2 adults, 9 teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
You're well, I said he's a brave man. Maybe you're both pretty brave or crazy. One of the two, or maybe a little of both.
Well, I am an ag teacher, so
That's true.
I probably am crazy.
That is true. So, just a little oversight of your chapter. Give us some specifics. You guys run 9 through 12?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And how many students thereabouts?
Roughly 88 that we have in the chapter.
Okay.
Hoping eventually we'll be able to open up a middle school program with
awesome.
that as well.
Well, and I know that's been a growing trend of expanding that FFA education, that agricultural education down into the junior high side. Now, you say hopefully, for you guys at Lynchburg, what would be the push to add a junior high program in?
I mean, junior high has just kind of been everywhere. And I came from a junior high program that was my first teaching job. And I see that there is a benefit that gets kids involved earlier. And then that way they can reach degrees and other things quicker. And then we just ultimately have a larger chapter at that point. Well,
and I know just from the standpoint, as you said, reaching degrees, that can be, you have to be on a pretty accelerated track to reach that state or national degree within those 4 years of high school. So added 2 years on helps that out a little bit.
Absolutely.
Good deal. And let's talk about your chapter kind of as a whole. I know a lot of times when you have a 4-year program, things get broken up into, each year we're going to focus in on something different. Is that the same at Lynchburg?
Yes. I kind of let the kids choose their own pathway, offer multiple classes, and then that way they can kind of choose which direction they want to go.
Okay.
And then, ultimately it's their experience and their fun times. So,
yeah. Well, and part of that too, though, has to come with like your expertise and background to a point. So, take us through your own FFA career. Did you think you wanted to be an FFA advisor at the end of it?
No, I'll tell you, I was going into ag business. Okay. So I grew up on a farm. I went to Western Brown. I told them not to hold that against me. Nice. Great program. I had a very great career with Star, Farmer, on down the line. Just was really involved with my ag teachers. And then ultimately my senior year, my advisor said, hey, you're really good at this. You're really good at leading younger groups and younger people. You should look into it. And I said, well, maybe I'll just stick to being a 4-H advisor and just helping.
Sure.
So then a life hit. I worked at Crop Production Services for 5 years. And ultimately my elementary school principal called me. He was a superintendent at Southern Hills. He still is. He said, hey, I think you'd be really good in this position. And I interviewed, took the job, and I was a satellite instructor at Eastern before I moved to Lynchburg 4 years ago.
That's really cool. And I think it's interesting to kind of watch the trajectory from that. Obviously, got a little bit of real world experience working in, and I think that has to help you a lot as an FFA advisor and instructor.
Yep, and I raise livestock, so I have goats and cattle, and the kids get all the stories. I just had a litter of puppies. Yes, we farm.
Nice.
So, they kind of get it all from me, whether they want it or not, but that's what they get.
I'm sure they do, right? That experience, it goes a long, long way. Now, very interesting. You mentioned you grew up on a farm, still, operating a farm. But that's not always the case for a lot of FFA students. I think, in fact, the stats said somewhere around 50%,
Yep.
right, of FFA programs have half kids living on a farm, growing on a farm, half not. Now, for you at Lynchburg-Clay, how do you guys combat or maybe approach the educational aspect of giving those kids who have never worked on a farm, never been on a farm, never been around livestock or animals, give them that growth and opportunity to have that experience?
So we do have a greenhouse, and there's a lot of students that haven't even had a garden.
Yeah.
So we start from start to finish with plants as well. Then last year, these guys can kind of touch more on it. But in my livestock class, we raised 25 turkeys.
Oh, wow.
And then we ended up butchering them, and if they wanted them, they took them home for Thanksgiving.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool opportunity there. Now we currently have a litter.
Yep.
Yeah, a litter of rabbits that Gage brought in, so he can touch more on that. So, unfortunately, they just get me into a lot of things, but we're learning a lot along the way as well. So, lots of kids loving these projects.
You never had turkeys growing up?
No,
Learning experience
no
for you?
birds.
No. I listen, I can 100% agree with you. But would you do it again, now having had...
They've already asked, I guess we're going to do it. I'm more of a cattle person myself, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, get the space at the high school. I don't know, cut out the baseball field or something. And no, I'm
We
just
have a
kidding.
barn.
I'm
We
just
have a
kidding.
barn.
We won't say that. They'll come after me. Let's get our gentlemen in on the conversation here. We have Gage Thompson and Wyatt Osborne. Good morning to you guys. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Morning.
Gage, we're going to start with you since you just got thrown under the bus for bringing rabbits in as a project. Take us through that. Like what's I guess concept to completion. What was the goal? You guys just have rabbits on your homestead, your family farm?
Well, my SAE and something I've done since I was 4 years old is breed and raise show quality Dutch rabbits.
Okay.
I've been showing a long time. I've had quite a bit of success, and I figured, I had some of these lower quality animals in my barn that I was ready to move along, and I said, these rabbits are good enough to make babies, so we bring them in the classroom, show the kids the process, and teach them how livestock works.
Okay. Now, I have to imagine, just judging from, I guess, tradition, that breeding process goes pretty quick when we're talking rabbits, right?
Yeah, rabbits' gestation periods are between 28 and 32 days.
Wow.
It really accelerates the process. So, like, if you want to learn more about large livestock, you got to wait 9 months for a cow to have a calf.
Right.
You can see the same processes in small animals like rabbits in just a month time period.
Yeah. So that's a really cool way to look at it from the learning standpoint of having a lot of similarities. Obviously, they're both mammals and, have that kind of same sort of process, even if it is on an accelerated track. So I have to ask, you said you raise show quality rabbits. What's the difference between is this like a very fancy rabbit?
Yeah, so show quality rabbits are split into two different classes. There's 4 and 6 class rabbits. Your 4 class rabbits are what we call fancy.
Okay.
We have a book we follow called the Standard of Perfection. We outlined, body structure, color markings, things like that in that to make them show quality.
Gotcha.
I raise a marked breed, so they're a very hard breed to raise. They have to have specific color markings. And when they don't have those color markings, they're considered pet quality. So I can't show them, but
a little bit.
yeah, they move along. So I raise about 80 litters a year.
Wow.
And I usually
That is
only
a lot of rabbits.
That is a lot of rabbits. I usually only end up keeping about 30 of those rabbits. And of those 30, maybe 5 are super high quality, going to win a show type of rabbit.
How do you take the standpoint from just, we'll say the financial front, right? If you are raising 80 litters of rabbits in a year and you only get 5, and I'm assuming, 1 litter is not 1 rabbit. We're talking...
You were talking like 6, 10
rabbits?
babies in a litter.
Okay, so we'll say an average. You're raising 80 litters a year, 6 rabbits per litter. You're looking at what? I'm not great at math, but that's like
480 babies. Yeah.
Something like that. So out of that nearly 500 rabbits, you can take 1% of those rabbits and make them like super show quality.
Yeah, essentially with a marked breed, that's what ends up happening.
Wow.
A lot of people choose not to raise them for that reason.
Yeah. But
I like them. They got a special place in my heart.
That's awesome, though. And obviously it has to be a labor of love at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I have to ask, what are we doing with the other 99% of rabbits?
So you usually wean rabbits around 6 to 8 weeks old. Usually I send them to what we call a call buyer, and these people will take them and feed them to like snakes and other small animals. I also do sell some as pets. I try to find good homes for pets. I've sold to Rural King before to get rid of some of my pet quality rabbits. And that's about usually what you do with them. Or you can find your lesser quality that are still showable, and you can find them 4-H homes. So like a starter rabbit for a kid in 4-H that'll do okay, but probably won't go win a national show.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's really interesting and very circle of life of you. You know, you've got options there. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a crazy number of rabbits to even think about. On that front, let's talk about this what do we call it? A litter, right?
Yes.
This litter that we brought in for learning within the FFA chapter. With your background and expertise, like, I don't know, how deep into the process have you gone with like trying to explain to everyone your process and what you do versus, you know, obviously this litter that you've got, not necessarily that top star show quality you're looking for. Is it you still trying to look at the same principles and tell them what you would normally be looking for?
Yeah, so I started last year. We had one rabbit. I do a lot with color, so there's different colors of rabbits that you can have. Some of those aren't showable, so I have some really nice structured animals that, you know, aren't showable colors. So I brought them into the classroom and started. I talked with all the classes about, you know, how I breed the rabbits, why I do it, the processes behind it. So this year I added 2 does. We started with a buck, so I got 2 does, and they're also of a gold color. So they're not really show quality, but they're good structured.
Sure.
So I brought some of my herd bucks in, and we bred them, and we look at color genetics. A lot of what I do is with color genetics, and that's what I've been teaching. We use like Punnett squares and things. Color genetics are very complicated in rabbits. So
Well, pretty complicated in humans, and that's about the basis I'm on. So
so I try to help with that. It's very sciencey. So a lot of our ag kids that like science,
is that a technical term? Very sciencey.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Man, just fascinating, and I think it really goes to show that no matter what area of ag you find yourself in, you can really dive into it just as far as you'd like. Now, obviously you're working on the show quality side. Let's talk about the like meat and production side. Do you delve into that at all as well?
So I do I have raised meat market quality rabbits for our county fair. I'm working on becoming a judge, so I'm working a lot with these animals, and I understand them very well, but they take a lot more feed and a lot more space, and I'm sticking more towards the smaller breeds for raising in my barn.
Understood. All right. Well, that's pretty awesome, man. So that is is that CDE, right?
SAE.
SAE. Okay. I get confused with the adjectives, but SAE, explain to us, like, I guess, in FFA terms, what SAE stands for and what that means.
So SAE stands for your supervised agricultural experience. Every student's required to have one as part of your ag learning experience. So it can be anything like raising rabbits or raising other livestock, mowing the grass, raising plants, throwing out a garden, or something like that. And you usually have like an industry professional help you in that area and help monitor you, and you measure your growth and success within that area.
Okay, so you're looking at financials, you're looking at I guess in your specifics, you're looking at the turnaround of those genetics, and again, kind of building up that top tier breed you're looking for.
Yeah, you create budgets, you record keep, you set goals, and you do all the means to reach those goals. And if you don't, you reflect on it and learn about it.
Man, fantastic. Science, math, a little bit of everything all rolled into one there, right?
Yep.
Very good. Next up, Wyatt, we'll get you in on the conversation. We've talked a lot about rabbits. Let's hear from you kind of some of the things you're involved in.
I mean, you saved the best for last.
Very good.
So what I do is I show cattle for most of my life. I've also raised cattle. And just this past couple of years, which is what my proficiency that moved to state was, I put in embryos at a dairy. Into dairy cows is what they do. And then those calves turn out to be beef calves that I sell back to people.
Okay.
So we put in about 200 embryos a year now. And maybe out of that, 100 calves or something like that are born. So a lot of calves.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of rabbits. We've got a lot of calves. That's got to be pretty cool to you. And we'll come back to it, Wyatt. But Dara, that's got to be really cool to you that you have, this incredible experience, like full-on production going on with your students, like a wealth of knowledge coming to you.
Absolutely. My first year here, we had 2 state winners in their proficiencies with grain crops, And then now this class is really, really heavy in the livestock side of it. So, we get the best of both worlds, and it's really full circle and pretty cool.
That's fantastic. So, Wyatt, to go back to you, you mentioned both dairy and beef. Now, in my mind, those two things are very different aspects of the cattle industry. How do you cross those over? Like, how do you make that work?
It is very different, and it's very new also. So what happens is I get shipped these embryos from these people that invest in my business, and what I do is I take those embryos to the dairy. That dairy then puts these beef embryos into a cow, and an embryo is just a fertilized egg. So they're going to take that beef embryo, put it in the dairy cow. It's just like a normal cow from then. It's going to have a calf. You also can have beef cows called recips that you put these embryos in, but oftentimes those stay at your house. This stays at the dairy, right? Because those dairy cows need bread. So when you put those eggs in them, then they can lactate and continue throughout their growth.
Okay. So it comes twofold there, right? So like you said, they have to be producing milk. And to do that, obviously, they have to be producing a calf. What happens with the calves once, take us through the latter half of that process?
So the calves stay at the dairy for 60 days, and there they get fed pasteurized milk at the dairy 2 times a day. And by a beef nutritionist there, so they're very well taken care of. And then past that 60 days, they're weaned and put on creep feed. So they live inside hutches, and then they'll move to either my house or whoever buys them after that.
Okay, so this is a big-time operation where you guys are getting turnaround. How many head of cattle are you operating on your farm at home?
At my home, we have about 15 cows, and we're producing about, right now on the ground, I think we have 14 calves.
Okay.
But plus all the embryos we have in, we'll have close to 20 or 25 that will go through our sale come springtime.
That's awesome. Now, I have to imagine this is a family business altogether, right?
Yep.
So how many generations back does your farming family go now?
So my farming family, my dad was really the first one to start showing cattle, actually. My grandpa was more of a grain farmer.
Okay.
We've kind of moved past that and are kind of full into the cattle business now. My dad used to sell around 100 cattle per year, so
that's awesome.
Big time cattle guy.
Yeah.
And then now my family shows. I got 3 other brothers, so me and my older brother, we've kind of been running this business with him. And then my younger brother's just now starting to get into it. So
fantastic. Well, a little sibling rivalry, because I know it exists. Obviously, you guys working very hard on the production side. Let's go into showing cattle, because I know you have to be able to show it off in order to show that you have a good product, right? Who's the better showman here, you or your brother?
I would say I'm definitely the best showman in the family.
Some reason I had a feeling you would say that. What makes a good cattle showman?
I'd say a good cattle showman is someone who practices at home. At the end of the day, you can't just walk into a show and have an animal that's going to act perfect. They got to be able to stand there, and that comes at home. Sure. You're going to go out at night, work with your animal. I got a steer this year that I've been shown throughout the best, and I'll work him almost every day for about an hour or so.
Yeah. And for kids who show cattle, that is a long process that you might deal with that one animal for multiple years. Where do you start out, and I guess like the very earliest stages of getting that cow comfortable with you as a show person?
So when getting that calf comfortable with you, I mean, you obviously just take it slow. That's the great thing about the calves that are born at the dairy, actually, because they're fed from a bottle, right? They're going to be super tame.
Okay.
They're used to humans at that point. We'll actually sell a lot of those to first-year 4-H members or anybody that's just trying to get their kid used to showing cattle.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to just getting used to that cattle, just going slowly, doing your daily routine, washing them. The more times you do that, the more times that calf is going to become broke and used to you.
So no replacement for time spent.
Yeah.
Very good. Want to come back to Gage a little bit, because Wyatt's talking about showing off cattle. Again, you might spend multiple years with. You're pumping out a new litter of rabbits each month. So talk to us about the show side of that, because again, I would imagine especially in the world of like high class fancy rabbits, there's, one thing to be said from the genetics and the color and the quality on that end, but similarly, I assume you have to be able to show those off in a certain way.
So a lot of the actual showing of the animals is the work you put in at home, how you're breeding your rabbits, what the style you're looking for. All the 53 breeds are different, so you're going to see different traits in each breed. So that's when you go to a show, you put them on the table, and a judge will evaluate the quality of your animal. But in showmanship, it's a little more you handling, so you need to show off your skills as a handler, and a lot of it's depth of knowledge in the topic.
Okay, so showing a rabbit is pretty straightforward. It's all of that background knowledge that you have that really comes into play.
Yeah, and I think the most challenging part of it is when you're at the show table, and if you're a good showman, you can handle your animals. You're expected to handle someone else's animals and know about them too.
Sure.
So
yeah, and that's the tough part.
Yeah, rather than just knowing about your breed, you got to know about all 53 breeds.
Wow, that's pretty daunting.
Yeah.
I'd have to imagine. Okay, well, good on you, because apparently you're doing something right, the both of you guys. Let's get into talking. We kind of alluded to there the Texas trip. All right, we've got to hear a little about this. First off, the opportunities that these guys and your group had. Why Texas? Why take the trip? What was the goal behind that?
So this was established before I got to Lynchburg, that seniors get to choose when they go on a senior trip.
Okay.
So first year I had a lot of Green boys. They wanted to go to Iowa. So we ended up going in a loop to the Midwest. The second year we went to Tennessee. Last year we went to Utah, which was amazing. And then this year I asked the kids, I'm like, where do you want to go? And then they say Texas. I'm like, okay, Texas in February. That'll be fine.
I definitely
snow, right?
I definitely manifested going to Texas trip. A lot of cattle there, and the Houston Stock Show was that week.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the reason we went.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went down. We went to the livestock show. Had a great time. So, but basically I tell them, I'm like, okay, well, you have to make the plan. We have to present it to the school board. I mean, they write the letter, we send it to the school board. If the school board has questions, they answer. They have to figure out how to fundraise to get there. But basically, they were able to basically sell a calendar for one of their picnic tables that they made as a raffle. And that calendar paid for their whole senior trip.
Wow. That
Yes.
is quite a fundraiser. That's awesome.
Yes, it was amazing.
So you got the hands-on experience of the building of the table and then going out. So I have to ask Wyatt, since you manifested it, did you get out of it what you had hoped to? Did you get to see huge production out in Texas? I assume.
We definitely did see a lot of production in Texas, and just got to see a lot of different size classes. Going to the stock show, maybe a class here is, especially at your county fairs, maybe 10 to 5 steers in a class.
Sure.
There they have 90 in a class, so
Wow.
it's really big.
Yeah, very different from the Highland County Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a humbling experience for sure.
I bet. Yeah. Well, and we're quickly running out of time because, again, I think it's just awesome, like the depth of knowledge that you have just in these two alone, and I'm sure it's the same all across. So let's focus in on a few things you guys are doing this week, celebrating National FFA Week. Any big plans that haven't happened yet?
No, last Friday we went to snow tubing, so
okay.
that was fun. And then we went to Hollowtown Church of Christ on Sunday and served breakfast. And then tomorrow we have our 8th grade recruitment activity.
Awesome.
And what else do we have?
We're providing a lunch for our staff on Thursday.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to give you guys a quick opportunity just to practice your sales pitch. All right, 8th grade recruitment tomorrow. Let's hear, why FFA, why get involved and learn more in the FFA program at Lynchburg.
Well, I was very skeptical coming in from middle school about the whole FFA program.
Really?
But my first year, I really liked it. I liked becoming like a leader and learning, core principles of life and learning about agriculture, which I believe is the backbone of America.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped me become an officer, where I serve as the president this year. So I was really skeptical at first, but I really enjoy it, and I think every kid should go through the program.
From skepticism to president, that's pretty good. And within that, were you doing the rabbit operation prior to being an FFA?
Yeah, that's kind of what was my minor motivation coming into this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had some great friends like Wyatt who persuaded me to stay along, and I'm glad I did. It was a lot of fun.
Well, then, Wyatt, it sounds like you've already got your sales pitch managed. You're on lock for that. But let's hear it. Why join FFA?
I mean, to add on to that, I know a lot of people that are skeptical on what they want to do after high school.
Yeah.
They just don't really know, or they don't have any experience and stuff. Through jobs like ag sales and other stuff we do in FFA, you kind of build your resume in FFA.
Yeah.
And a lot of those kids, they just want to get the most out of high school they can. So you tell them, hey, you can get public speaking experience and all this real world experience, and they go on and use that. And it's just kind of a no-brainer to join FFA.
For sure. And the trips, the conventions, the judgings, and obviously, your senior trip, that's just a nice little added bonus into all of the ag experience. And again, not just agricultural. Obviously, speaking, you've got Parley Pro, you've got your resume and all of that stuff that you do. There's a lot to it beyond, again, growing up on a farm and operating a 80 litter a year rabbit operation or few hundred cattle a year. It's again, I think you guys are a great example of like just how far you can take it. But obviously, you're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Absolutely.
So, very good. Well, guys, I know I said it would go quick, and it did. Big thank you for coming in and talking with us here, and good luck through the rest of FFA week and everything else you've got coming. We talked before we went on the air, Dara. You guys have a very quick turnaround with how your year plans out.
Yes.
Because we're moving already to the last part of the school year. Summer happens, and you guys have to be working the entire time towards the Highland County Fair. So good luck with that.
Thanks.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, folks. We have more of our FFA week celebrations still to come. Again, we're going to do a little switch out. Fairfield will be joining us next. Thank you again to our sponsors, including Southern Ohio Medical Center, the National Bank of Adams County, Community Fuels and Lubricants, Meffert's Heating and Cooling, Midwest Air, Huntley Napa Auto Supply, and Carrington Farm Supply. We're back after this here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV, presented by CMT Components. If this summer brings scorching temperatures and drought conditions, Armstrong Crop Insurance, your local hometown agency, can come to the rescue. They're here to protect your crops from excessive heat, rainfall, wildlife destruction, hail, and even uncertain prices. They have 3 full-time agents who live and farm in your community. The deadline to apply for crop insurance is March 17th. Don't stress all summer long. Call Armstrong Crop Insurance today at 937-378-4430 for a quote, or stop by their office at 501 East State Street in Georgetown. Armstrong Crop Insurance, where the agent is the advantage. Equal opportunity provider. Get ready for the stars to align.
Turnaround jumper, Vance buries it!
The 41st annual C103 Shack Senior All-Star Game is coming Saturday, March 28th to North Adams High School.
McLaughlin for a short jumper, it's good.
Featuring girls and boys All-Star Games and the All-Star Cheerleaders.
Feldhouse, the big guy, drives the left side of the lane, puts it up and in.
Plus, we'll award thousands of dollars in scholarships to our local student athletes.
Left side, but it's stuck back by Haysrup up and in.
Mark your calendars now. We'll see you there.
Your plan is ready. It's time to build. At CMT Components, we design and manufacture quality building materials for your custom job. If you need metal panels and trim, trusses, or even a complete pole barn package, we do it all, including delivering right to your job site. To get started, call us at 937-446-3400. You can also check us out online or stop by our office in Sardinia, Ohio to discuss your plans today. Let's get building.
What's one of our shows that our listeners love the most?
Yeah, I got a couple things here to sell today.
That's right. It's the Trash and Treasure Trading Post on C103, weekdays starting at 12:30 p.m.
Oh, yes, I'm a private collector.
Get your items on the air by calling 937-544-9722. You can also try out the mailbag items. It's $2 a day, $5 for 3 days. Mail your listings to P.O. Box 103, West Union, Ohio, 45693.
Got a lot of other miscellaneous, too.
And we'll help you turn your trash into treasure.
C103, 99.5 The Edge, and Good Guys Radio TV are your source for everything local, from Shack basketball
Shot by Osborne, 3 on the buzzer!
to Shack Baseball,
Wells is going to drive. He makes it. He's safe.
Western Brown Football,
Throws it towards the end zone, and it's complete.
to Shack Volleyball,
Hatton for the kill. It's good.
local fairs, festivals, and more.
Ire to the finish line.
Crosses the line to get the victory.
Never miss a moment with C103, 99.5 The Edge, and Good Guys Radio TV. If this summer brings scorching temperatures and drought conditions, Armstrong Crop Insurance, your local hometown agency, can come to the rescue. They're here to protect your crops from excessive heat, rainfall, wildlife destruction, hail, and even uncertain prices. They have 3 full-time agents who live and farm in your community. The deadline to apply for crop insurance is March 17th. Don't stress all summer long. Call Armstrong Crop Insurance today at 937-378-4430 for a quote, or stop by their office at 501 East State Street in Georgetown. Armstrong Crop Insurance, where the agent is the advantage. Equal opportunity provider. Get ready for the stars to align.
Turnaround jumper. Vance buries it.
The 41st annual C103 Shack Senior All-Star Game is coming Saturday, March 28th to North Adams High School.
McLaughlin for a short jumper. It's good.
Featuring girls and boys All-Star Games and the All-Star Cheerleaders.
Feldhouse, the big guy, drives the left side of the lane, puts it up and in.
Plus, we'll award thousands of dollars in scholarships to our local student athletes.
Left side, but it's stuck back by Hayslip up and in.
Mark your calendars now. We'll see you there. Welcome back into our FFA Week celebration here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV. Again, thank you to Adams, Brown, and Highland County Farm Bureau, Armstrong Crop Insurance, Baxla Tractor Sales, Buckeye Valley Beef Cooperative, Georgetown Marble and Granite, and Southern Ohio Medical Center, making our shows possible this week. We just had Lynchburg-Clay FFA in with us, and now joining us, Fairfield High School. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Very much appreciate it. First and foremost, Taylor Hamilton, our FFA advisor at Fairfield. Very cool that you bring all ladies with us. I think that would be certainly maybe a misnomer that, people might think FFA is more for the guys, but most chapters are now at least 50% and some even more, young ladies involved, which is awesome.
Yep, we actually have an all-girls officer team this year.
There you go.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, most of our girls are the ones that are the most involved, and we still love the guys, but
yeah, clearly, right?
Our girls are our go-to sometimes.
That's so well, and I think again, it is very much a misnomer. When it comes to young ladies, they're more. This is again generalization, but you guys are very organized, very gung-ho, very keen to get involved, which is awesome. Now, I have to ask, Taylor, take us through your own FFA experience. Did you plan on becoming an advisor through that time, or how did you come into this role?
I did. So I was an FFA member. I graduated from Valley View High School in Montgomery County, so a little far away from here. But after probably my first year in FFA, I knew I wanted to either somehow stay involved in it. So I figured the best way to do that was to be a teacher.
Sure.
All my family was either farmers or teachers. So my family always jokes that I found a way to combine them. Yes, I figured out a way to do both. I've always wanted to be an ag teacher since I figured out what FFA was. And I went to Wilmington College and student taught at Hillsboro, and then I met my husband in Highland County, and I've been in Highland County and ever since then.
Now you're locked in.
I'm locked in. I'm never going back. So,
well, I have to ask, since you mentioned Montgomery County is a little less rural than Highland County, Ohio is.
Yep.
So growing up, you said you had farmers and teachers in the family. Let's talk about kind of the farming side. What did that look like for you growing up?
So my dad and my grandpa, both my grandpa on my dad's side, they both farmed row crops, and then we always showed animals at the fair.
Sure.
On my mom's side, my great grandpa farmed as well. So Montgomery County is less rural, but we lived in
still plenty rural.
Yes, we lived in Farmersville. Yes, Dayton is a part of our county, but we were far away from that. So that's kind of a little misconception. I think a lot of people assume there's not any farmland there, but the small amount that there is, we were on it.
Very good.
So, yep.
Well, again, maybe just my misconception. a little flatter towards Dayton than
Yes.
well, once you get up into Highland County, I guess southern Highland County is still hilly, but up near Leesburg, we started flattening out a bit.
Yep.
So it can't be too different from what you grew up with.
No, I'm pretty much in a different version of the same town I grew up in, and I like it.
That's
so
good. Good. Well, take us through a little of your program. I assume, much like other FFA chapters within the area, you guys operate on a 4-year basis, right? Freshmen up through seniors.
Yep, we do offer half-year courses for 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
So they're not full FFA members, but they can still take ag classes, which
Sure.
kind of helps get them excited for high school.
Yeah.
So it's me and one other teacher, Kelsey Dickey. We offer about, I think, 7 or 8 high school elective classes to choose from, and then we both teach a middle school class as well.
That's awesome. And again, I think we said that with Lynchburg-Clay, that they're looking at adding junior high. It's a very much a growing trend within our FFA chapters to see that earlier education really be a key component of that. So really cool that you guys have that added in, and get to kind of play to both you and Miss Dickey's strengths. Both different backgrounds, I'm sure, bring different things to the table.
Oh, yes. Yep. She usually handles more of the livestock classes, and then I really enjoy the greenhouse.
Okay.
So I'm really big on the greenhouse stuff, and she kind of does the pigs and chickens and all that.
Not to say that you don't love pigs and chickens.
Right.
Okay.
But I just let her, take the lead there.
Very good. All right. Well, let's introduce all of our guests with us here. Lander, we'll start with you. Just a little about yourself and your position in your FFA chapter.
So the 2025-2026 year, I'm currently the president of the chapter.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So a little about me is I grew up on a farm. We have about 100 head of cow-calf pairs. So I've always been excited about agriculture, and I think as a freshman, really drew me in. My older siblings, Reese and Avery, they were both a part of it. So I just always had a drawn toward FFA.
Now, I have to ask, because it's always the case with siblings, a little bit of sibling rivalry there when it comes to competitions?
Yes, definitely. Even my older cousin, she was president of this chapter, and my sister was as well. So I felt like I had some big shoes to fill, definitely.
Have to at least match up.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So working on a farm, how much of your FFA experience has been maybe fine-tuning things that you grew up with? How much of it has been, new experience, new knowledge for you?
Definitely a lot. I'm in a livestock class right now, but like last year in Miss Thomas's class, I guess Miss Hamilton, sorry.
I got married recently.
Still not used to it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But I learned more about the plant side of it rather than just livestock. So we do crops too. So I really just help my dad, just decide what to plant and our soils and just everything, all the little details.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask, you're talking about doing livestock. Are you a part of a livestock judging team?
Currently, no, I am not.
No. Okay.
But I do show cattle in 4-H and FFA at the Highland County Fair.
Well, and again, talk about the benefit of growing up on a farm. Do you feel like you have any advantage going into some of those shows, or again, is it kind of so different that it doesn't matter?
Right. As you know, the Highland County Fair, it's very competitive.
Yeah.
So really, we all come from rural and agricultural backgrounds. So really, I feel like we're all on the same playing field.
All on the same boat. All right, good. Next up, we have Evelyn. Evelyn, a little about yourself, if you would.
I am Evelyn Ream. I am my chapter secretary this year. I raise 70 head of sheep, and I also show poultry, market turkeys, market chickens, and fancy birds.
Okay, that is a wide range.
Yeah.
Now, any crossover at all in the skill set of showing, large animal, small animal?
A lot of it, with the poultry, a lot of it is my knowledge and my ability to handle these 70-pound turkeys and stuff, where sheep, they're more intelligent and easier to work with a little bit,
so,
reason with.
From what I hear, birds are dumb. Sheep are smart.
Yes.
All right. Just to break it down for folks. Well, I think that's really interesting. You talk about a 70-pound turkey. For folks who have never seen in part of their poultry show, I would very much encourage them to sit through that at the county fair or whatever the case may be. And I'm not going to ask you to show us, but you literally line a turkey up between your legs and have to bend down, grab it by the ankles, and flip it upright.
Yeah, so you're gonna spread your legs, and you're gonna put the head and their wings, their tip of their wings are gonna be at your knee.
Okay.
And you go down to their top of their hip or hock joint, and you flip it over and slide up down to their ankles, and you're holding them against your body and using your knee to brace them.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like, that's a workout.
It is.
How do you even get to the point where you feel comfortable doing that? Because for me, I hate to say this, but not very comfortable around birds. They kind of scare me. And a turkey's a pretty large bird to be messing around with.
I just my aunt just, I was kind of scared of it. My aunt just said, you're going to have to do it to get over it. And I just did. And it's fun.
Do it or else.
Do it or else. That was kind of the.
All right. Now, obviously, we're making a little light of it, but it is a hard place to get to be comfortable with that. And again, to have that background knowledge when you're dealing with small animals, you get asked a lot of questions. Is there a lot of crossover information? You mentioned going from chickens to turkeys.
For them, there is a lot of poultry, like inside they're the same a lot. I get a lot of I show Bantam chickens.
Okay, so you got fancy ones.
Yeah, so there's like standard and Bantam are the two sizes of chickens. I get a lot of questions like, are these baby chickens? Because they're little, but nope, that's a 4-year-old rooster right there, and they're asking me if it's a baby.
So you just have to come in with that knowledge.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of practice. Do you have a preference? Turkeys, showing your chickens, showing you the sheep. Is there one that's your favorite?
I love them all a lot. I enjoy my registered breeding sheep a lot. I enjoyed my I have little cochins, and they're really fun, sweet. Okay. The turkeys are probably like my top though, because they're just so enjoyable to show and just to get out there. And I love talking to people about turkeys. Everyone always has a lot of questions, especially this year at the Highland County Fair was the first year we got to show turkeys.
Oh,
so,
really? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's cool. Well, kudos to you then. As, again, better you than me. We'll swing up and we'll talk to Kenzie just a little bit. Kenzie, tell us a little about yourself.
My name's Kenzie. This is actually my first year as FFA officer. I'm our historian. I've been in ag all 4 years. I'm a part of our wildlife judging team. Okay. Which is just me, because nobody wants to do it.
Big team, yeah.
Yeah. But,
well, I'm sorry, I didn't
no,
mean
you're fine. You're fine.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
You continue.
I'm just going to ask a little more about that. A wildlife team. What exactly, or a wildlife person, what exactly does that mean? What's that entail?
So with wildlife judging, we identify the skulls, tracks, different plants, tools used for like land observation, and we do like land survey. Okay. So say there was like turkey population here, what would you need to put here to get more turkeys in here?
Interesting.
Stuff like that.
Okay, so we're right back to turkeys.
Yep. Sorry, it just popped in my mind.
Can't get away from it. Well, that is really, was that an interest of yours, or were you like, you guys?
Yeah. I'm definitely an outdoorsy person, so it was definitely right up my alley with that.
That's really cool, though. So taking your background and applying that into the FFA lens, there really is something for everybody within that. So how does a competition work exactly within that? Because I've heard plenty of livestock judging or soil judging, but what you're judging is literally kind of the lay of the land. How do you apply that?
Well, how I apply it, I don't. So with that,
they're not taking you out into the woods and leaving you, right?
No,
Saying,
it's like in a classroom. They just have the skulls out with no names. They cover up the name, and then you have identification lists, so you decipher which one you think it is.
That's awesome.
Basically going off the characteristics of how it looks.
Okay. Now, I have to ask, obviously, the first two ladies we talked, in their kind of dealing with animals, you're not necessarily in, I guess, a farm setting. Did you grow up on a family farm?
Yeah, we have a family farm, but it's not technically a farm. It's more like CRP, grass fields, stuff like that. But we still do land management for it because we deer hunt all the time.
Sure. And so, again, that kind of leans right into that. Very cool. So, similar question. Growing up, being out in the woods, kind of, having the lay of the land with that, how much of your own experience did you bring to your FFA experience, and how much has the FFA experience kind of made you, stop and look around a little more out in the world?
So my experience I brought in because all the time growing up we went like mushroom hunting, shed hunting, all that stuff. So you'd see like the tracks on the ground and be like, oh, there's a deer, there's that. And then with my FFA experience, it showed me more like what plants are what animals this could be, in like different like skulls and stuff like that have shown what all could be out there.
So you came in with like the practical knowledge, and now you've got the book smarts to go on top of it.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Yeah, very cool. Mushroom hunting, very cool. The season's coming up quick. Are you pretty good at it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm pretty good.
Sniff about morel mushrooms.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we may have to talk shop after this. We'll get you in on it. Last but not least, we have Amelia. Amelia, tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, I'm Amelia Ream, and I'm the treasurer for the Fairfield FFA. And Evie is my twin sister, or Evelyn. And we are fifth generation farmers. We grew up on a row crop farm, and our mothers always loved sheep, so we have about 70 head of sheep that we raise and manage together. We split, I think we're about even now. She has about 35 head, and I have about 35 head.
35 head of sheep.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sheep.
I mostly focus on purebred hamps, but I have a few Dorpers now, which are fun.
Okay, you have to explain because you're throwing technical terms out. Hamps and
Dorpers.
Dorpers. Okay. Now what does that mean?
Okay, Hampshires are
say the real breed.
What?
Say Hampshire.
So Hampshire.
Hampshire. Okay.
Are a black-faced breed they're mainly raised for meat, but they still have wool. Dorpers are a hair sheep, so they don't have any wool, and they're also raised for meat.
Okay. Now, so you're going way beyond my knowledge. Both are used. So talk to us a little about that. Like, how do you manage saying we know we want to raise this sheep for this long for the wool byproduct, and then at what point do we say, okay, time to now convert and go for the meat product?
We at our farm, we don't traditionally raise for wool.
Okay.
We raise meat breeds. All three breeds we raise at the farm currently are meat breeds. So she raises Southdowns, which are a British breed that's who has a white face, gray nose. And Hampshire's another meat breed, and then my Dorpers are all meat breeds. So we raise 4 show sheep mostly, and then whatever is not to quality will go to a feedlot and get fed out.
Sure. But the product still exists, right? It's like you still have to shear these sheep and take care of them on that front. Yes. All right.
All the sheep are sheared at least once a year. The Dorpers will shed their hair. They'll grow
interesting.
During the wintertime, they'll grow a thicker hair. They're a South African breed, so they're meant for rougher weather.
Okay.
But in the cold weather, they'll grow a...
How does one end up saying, you know what, I don't have enough sheep. I'd like to have this other kind of sheep. Let's try this out. Was that an experiment? And you guys were just like, I want to try this.
My mom really doesn't... She wants us to show together, but she doesn't want us to compete together. So,
we've already talked on that.
So, I've cycled through different breeds as I've gotten older. Hampshire's what I've shown the longest. But then a breeder that we went to, she started showing Dorpers, and her daughter aged out. So she's like, hey, I know you're a really good showman. Do you want to try this breed? So that's where we got started, and I got my first set of sheep last year. Mm-hmm. And they did really well. And I just got, I think, my second set home a few weeks ago.
Okay. Now, we heard from Evelyn about what it takes to show turkeys, right? And that's terrifying. Sheep, I won't say I'm scared of them, but, that is still a big enough animal. You're not, outweighing that sheep probably at all. How do you lead something around that kind of does have a mind of its own? Evelyn said they are smart. How do you convince it to do what you want?
They are smart enough.
Smart enough. Okay.
It's every day. You got to go in there. You got to work with the sheep.
Sure.
They're not going to be your best friend, but they have to agree with you that you know what you're doing. They have to see you as like the lead sheep.
Okay. So you are a shepherd at this point.
Yes.
We got you. All right. Well, that's awesome. And I do want to lean into it a little bit. Evelyn, I have to ask, you're both showing sheep. You don't necessarily compete against each other because you're showing different breeds. But how much does that sibling rivalry play up when it comes to, knowing the tips and tricks, spending the time in the barn, spending time with those animals?
I would say a lot, especially me and her, because we're in the same showmanship class. We compete a lot because we're twins, we're the same age. But also when we're training our siblings, I train my brothers, she trains our sisters. So we're competing with how well they do too. So
there's lots of them.
Layers. Yeah. Okay, so I have to ask then, who's the better teacher?
Me? Oh, she is.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is very humble of you.
I'm not as patient as I should be.
Well, it's good. Very, very sweet. All the same. And Taylor, for you, just talking to these four young ladies, that is a very wide base of knowledge that, you as an FFA advisor have to kind of at least have some background. How do you balance all of that out, having so many different kids from so many different backgrounds with so many different focuses?
Well, luckily, I don't know everything, so I'm very open to learning. I've learned just a ton from the Reams, as you can hear already, about their expertise in turkeys and sheep.
Yeah.
So I try to listen to the kids and hear their interest and then kind of direct them towards what I think they'll be interested in. But most of the time, they're going to find it, especially these girls, they're up to try anything at least once. So that's usually what I do. And I think Kelsey, my co-teacher, is the same way, is just kind of try a little bit of everything, and then you'll find where you fall. Just, they all have done that over time. So,
man, awesome. And obviously made it work very, very well. Landry wanted to talk just a little about what this week means for you guys. FFA week, obviously a big celebration.
Right.
Big plans. What do we have going on with Fairfield FFA this week?
Well, we obviously want to celebrate every individual. So after our officer meeting yesterday, we went around to every locker and put a poster on it just to remind them, we value them and we're so grateful that they're a part of the organization. And we also have our dress up days. Today is camo and orange, and we just have that continuing throughout the week.
Well, not a one of you. Okay.
Sorry.
You wore your official garb.
we dressed up for the occasion here.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But next time, camo and orange.
I know.
We'll get you. But big week, big celebration. Within your school, as president of your chapter, give us your sales pitch. What do you say to kids as they're approaching that 9th grade year and obviously working down into the junior high? To convince kids, hey, this is what I've gotten out of FFA. Here's what, I think it's a great organization to join. Give us your elevator pitch, if you will.
Well, obviously, we work through elementary up just to get those kids excited for those 4 years. Obviously, the relationship I have with my fellow members, my officer team is just so amazing, and I know it will carry out, past graduation. And obviously, we live in an agricultural and rural community, so agriculture is in every day. Even if you don't live on a farm, you can still be a part of FFA. You can still learn so many new skills that'll help you even if you don't continue in agriculture.
For sure.
It is a growing field, so if you're going to be a part of it, it's a great field to be in. And I just think the compassion and the empathy that we have for each other, understanding, we all just agree and be friends.
That's awesome. And again, it is that social aspect to it as well that I'm sure kind of helps to drive things home. Past this week, celebrating National FFA Week, Evelyn, let's talk a little more. Some of the things you guys are doing throughout the year. Obviously, Highland County Fair is a big deal for you all, and that's right at the start of the school year.
It is.
So you have to stay focused on FFA all throughout the summer months.
Yeah.
How do you strike that balance of somewhat enjoying your summer and knowing that the Highland County Fair is right around the corner?
I don't think I'm a great example of balance because I am just sheep and chicken all year, 365 days a year. That's all I do. It's what I enjoy. So I'm not a great example.
Well, I think that's perfect, though. You find joy in what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So very busy week for you there.
Yeah.
Past that, what do we focus on once Highland County Fair is set, this time of year, I guess, outside of FFA week?
So this time of year, we're going into, we just had all our proficiencies and state and American degrees due, which proficiencies focus on our SAEs, which is all your animals, all your entrepreneurships, your placements working for ag businesses.
Sure.
American and state degrees, which are just levels in our organization, and then we're doing all our CDEs throughout the year, which earlier this year we had soil judging, job interview, food science, parliamentary procedures, and now we're into our judging seasons, which is livestock, poultry, dairy, cattle, dairy products, wildlife, agronomy. I could keep going. There's a lot.
A lot of stuff. Okay. So a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're talking CDEs, Kenzie, let's talk to you about those. Inevitably, have you done speech? Have you done job interview?
I've done agronomy with her because we were the team.
We were the team last year.
And then I did soil judging last year, which I figured out was not my cup of tea.
Okay, it's always interesting. I've been around FFA and 4-H most of my life now, and yet I still could not explain to you what soil judging is. So I think unless you do it, it's it's kind of difficult.
I didn't really know what it was, and my friend was like, we should just try it. It's our junior year. We're seniors next year. Let's go for it. So we tried it, and I was like, not doing the senior year.
But you tried it.
But you tried it, right? And that's what FFA is about. It's about trying new things. So for layman's terms, what is soil judging? You built up enough base knowledge for that?
So the soil judging I did urban.
Okay.
So that's where you figure out if you can build a house on that spot, like if it's going to flood or if anything's going to ruin your basement, your building, or come in contact with any of the materials you have.
Okay. So again, good knowledge to have past high school and important to note as a homeowner, future homeowner. But not your cup of tea.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That's good. That's fine. Last but not least, Amelia, tell us some of the things, again, outside of sheep and chickens, which just sounds like it takes up a lot of time at your guys' house.
I'm obviously into agronomy. I'm going to college for plant pathology, which is the study of plant disease in the fall. Both me and Evie are going to Ohio State, which we're very excited about.
Not to correct you, but you're going to have to learn because they'll correct you.
Ohio State.
Right. They'll tell you about it. I know.
So plants take up a big part of my time. If I could, I'd be back in the greenhouse class.
Yeah.
But they've stopped me.
That's awesome. Well, so what about, again, you're so very much into the sheep and that side of things, dealing with animals. What's so special about dealing with plants?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's different.
Yeah, just different enough.
It just interests me.
I gotcha. Favorite? You have a favorite sheep? Do you have a favorite plant?
Oh, I like tomato plants.
Tomato plants. All right.
It's a weird
There's
one.
probably a lot to dig into on that.
It's a weird thing.
It's not weird. Nothing's weird. You're interested in it, and you're taking time to learn more about it. And I think that's awesome. So, again, Taylors, we gear up to close out for you guys. Just a few things to focus on.
I'm correct. We have 100 members.
Oh, wow.
So we range from about
a big group.
Yeah, we range from about 100 to 120, kind of depending on the year. We do lose some to the Career Center.
Sure.
Which, if they're wanting to go into something specific, we totally encourage them to do that. So, but we do lose some members there. So we're about 100 this year.
Awesome. That is fantastic. And obviously, again, very diverse, very good group of kids.
Yes. Just because we're in a rural area, we still do have kids that have no knowledge of the farm, like the farm life. And that's fine. And that's what we're here to do is educate those on the general, basics of where their food comes from. That's the biggest thing we try to hit on is, without agriculture, what would our economy look like? What would our life look like? So even though we do have these great kids that know all about it already, we strengthen their knowledge. And then we also like to build a base for those kids that may not have any experience in it at all.
Absolutely. And again, that's what FFA is all about. It's about learning how the world around you works.
Yep.
Very, very cool. Well, ladies, I really appreciate you all coming in and talking with us. I felt like I learned a lot. So that's good. I'll know all about different sheep and chickens and turkeys and plants and everything. So with that, folks, we're going to wrap up for today, though. A big thank you to both Fairfield and Lynchburg-Clay FFA chapters coming in and speaking with us. And, of course, thank you to our sponsors as well, National Bank of Adams County, Community Fuels and Lubricants, Meffords Heating and Cooling, Midwest Air, Huntley Napa Auto Supply, and Carrington Farm Supply. We'll be back tomorrow with another show. We will be joined by the Ohio Valley Career and Technical Center FFA chapter. So be sure and tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV, presented by CMT Components.
Thank you for tuning in. Rewatch this video and many more on demand at goodguysradiotv.com.